homework, as Hammers had like a 30% win rate on Assault. Cloud9 struggles on Escort. They're hovering around 30% on Escort overall. Want to know what their worst Escort map is lately?
Is it this?
It is this. Wow, I thought I was going to trick you somehow. 1-4 on Route 66 in recent results. Coming into groups today, that may have changed throughout the day here, but that was my research. Route 66 with the hover hogs over there. No tires in the game at all. We heard a little bit about that yesterday. I don't know. I mean, so I guess the phrase "rubber meets the road" just doesn't even apply to Overwatch. You guys should stop saying it.
I'm never going to stop saying it, Hex. You can't tell me what to do. You're not my dad, you're just my mom.
Oh yeah, happy Father's Day, everybody, by the way. It is Happy Father's Day, so if you have forgotten, you can thank me for reminding you. You know, you don't have to get your old man a tie and a shirt that he doesn't need. Just give him a text, give him a call, give him a hug, you know.
But I already did the former.
Well, I mean, that's fine. You are a man who loves his ties and shirts anyway, so.
It is true. I've developed a strong love over the last year, and that's just been the thing. But speaking of things that might be a thing, if this is coming to pass here, we talked about the idea of running more Reinhardt and how C9 is more flexible. Look, I haven't said get on the thing, Hax. Like,
no, that's trademark. That's mine now.
You would actually sue me, but C9 is coming out here with a tank-heavy defense where you have Kaiser on the Reinhardt, so they're not going to be going for a counter.
Okay. Nesh is on the Widow, though, so it would be the funniest thing on the planet if he picks Rolf here.
I'm not find it funny. I just want you to know he would actually be rather upset.
I like Rolf, but come on, comedic-wise, that would be great. I like their composition here. They actually switch off the Widow. Snizzle Nose does going to Roadhog. They don't necessarily like what they see. They're going to taxi back. Fisher's going to go. They're going to run triple tank of their own. All right. Why not? Triple tank with no Ana, though. They're going to run a Zen instead.
Reinhardt v. Reinhardt. Let the Rhine games begin. We haven't seen this as often in Overwatch as of late, but I'm excited to see it. And I gotta tell you, if you are dancing as Reinhardt, Kaiser is a rough dancing partner to go with.
Yeah.
He generally takes the lead, steps on your toes, and ruins your day. So we'll see if Christopher can deal with that, as Hammers right now focusing on the payload, C9 prioritizing the high ground.
Well, Gazza's come in over the top, hooked and gone. That is the power of Snizzle Nose's Roadhog there. They're going to be down a Winston. He's going to take a breather, come back into this fight. Great advantage here. Gods decides he does not want to play Winston against Roadhog. Switches right over to Genji.
And that's really good, though. I mean, use the Roadhog to that advantage to get a Winston out of the game where you oftentimes, we don't have any Winston on either side right now, Hex. That is rare today in Overwatch. So screenshot this moment, clip it, whatever you want to do. And C9, they've just been bending back this entire time, Hex. They haven't really engaged. Of course, God's going down, force their hand, but they're letting this go almost all the way to the point. And it hasn't been great as the nano-boosted Reinhardt countered here by the Transcendence.
Yeah, beautiful Transcendence. They actually go for the hook on Geyser, and he gets taken down by a Fire Strike instead. Adam comes in, and the unlikely hero to take down Snizzle Nose. They're getting a couple kills, but this is mostly in favor of Hollywood Hammers, and a lot of it has come off of the Snizzle Nose play on Roadhog. It's, I think, one of his best heroes. Is where he has his biggest moments, and they're going to be able to clean this up. Short 4 tries to stall it out, does not do so very well. Cloud9 now has a couple of ults they can rely on, as Kaiser will have his up. That's just such a great hook to enter the... It's such a powerful ability to instantly turn a fight 6v5 every 8 seconds.
I would say that play that was just on replay was the reason why Cloud9 did nothing on defense. It wasn't that they tried to do nothing. They actually just did nothing after that pick, and Hammers was able to roll their way in. The only upside here from C9 is that, at the very least, they do have ultimates up, but look at that. Surefour dives too deep as Snizzle Nose, pulling people in. The one party you don't want to attend is the one Roadhog brings you to with a hook.
Or any of yours. Like, yours sound terrifying.
Mine, people die to attend my parties, Hex. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like one of those terrible Halloween puns. Not quite the season 4 CP. Rolf gets hooked too as Snizzle Nose continues his reign of terror, and I couldn't be happier because Snizzle Nose is a fun name to say. Snizzle Nose.
Snizzle Nose. Although he's on Roadhog, I mean, you have the entire pick there. It could be Snizzle Tail, but, you know, opportunities lost. Either way, it has been Snizzle Nose's game here so far with vital pickoffs over and over again at C9's expense. They have to give Snizzle Nose more respect because they keep ignoring him and getting wrecked. But look at the self-destruct. Lobbed in over the top. Does not quite hit its mark, but gives C9 the distraction they need to get back in on this point. And this time, Surefour gets his man.
Yeah, Transcend comes in and keeps everyone alive. I mean, don't tell Snizzle Nose that. He's able to take down Kaiser, who's now on the Winston instead. God, what is going on? Who's gonna win this fight? Who knows? Snizzle knows. He's doing it all by himself. Rolf has had enough of it. He's seen what happens when he leaves Rolf. Oh, God.
Oh, the nose knows because this.
Oh, man.
Even in a losing fight, Snizzle knows
I don't
looking
care.
like a winner.
I do not care. This is why it gets so frustrating that they didn't even try this on Anubis Assault. This guy is a Roadhog god.
And he's doing this against someone named God, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not in the name, it's in the play. But this time, Fisher getting bopped as he tries to deep dive 5 versus 5. But I gotta tell you, Snizzle knows, kept alive in the back. Let's see if he can work his magic once more. Not this time.
It appears they have finally figured out the problem, and it's the guy with the hook on 8-second cooldown as he goes after again. A very late pulse bomb. This is kind of what you were talking about with Hollywood Hammers is, I mean, that fight's over. And yes, it's just pulse bomb, but pulse bomb's nice to have to open a fight too.
It really is, and it would be one thing if Hammers was trying to be playing in the Immortal style where they just kept up constant pressure, but Nesh outright retreated after the pulse bomb. So
I just
what have you really
predicted
done?
that blink too. Just beautiful play from Snizzle knows.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Snizzle's gone the diva. The dream is dead. And so is Hammers right now as Fisher just gets popped immediately. I'm just going to take a little bit for Morning Hex, so by all means.
Oh, what makes you think I'm not in mourning? No, like, I don't understand it necessarily. It's not like there's a threat on the high ground they have to deal with. The 76 hasn't been in the mix. Maybe they think Short Force Tracer is that big of a threat that they got to keep the Diva on their back line to keep Shaz and Tomsy alive. Short Force has been doing some work in there, but I don't know if that's keeping. I would rather get the picks personally. Just what he was bringing you on that is insane. Comes a blade.
You don't take people off the hot hand, and Gods right now drops the blade, drops the Hammer's backline, and I think Diva's going to be going rock climbing.
It's like that night Kobe put up 80. Like, no one was telling, hey, you should pass more. Like, what? It's just not a good idea.
I don't know. I think there was enough Kobe haters that someone somewhere is like, he only got 80 points because he didn't pass more. So, heck, some people probably said that.
Yeah, probably. Well, speaking of Kobe, the pulse bomb at the ready for Short 4. He might be looking to nail his own in there. They've just dominated last fight. 30 seconds ZP. We are down to it. Hollywood Hammers needs to get to the checkpoint to extend their offense on Route 66.
They're going to win a fight where they're at a disadvantage to some extent. Fisher must get a good blade or this is almost certainly going to go against him. The barrier is out and so is the blade. Fisher running into the worst enemy of a Dragon Blade, a Transcendence, gets nothing. Shaz and Tom both down in the back line. The supports are done for Hammers, and Hammers in general likely just done. They don't have the sustain remaining to keep here on the payload. So as C9 gets on the payload and removes people from it, this should be a hold here on second, and a good opportunity from C9 to punch it right in on their own attack.
Fisher went for the pack and it wasn't there. It's the saddest sight in the world for Genji, who's at 60 HP. They will come in desperation time, and Gods on the cleanup. A dash of this, a dash of that. You get a dash. Everyone gets a dash from Gods. That's the cleanup. Cloud9, I mean, the glimmer of hope Hollywood Hammers had, they took it away from themselves. I don't get it. I don't get it.
It was rough where, yeah, they lost a fight with Roadhog, but there was also a fight where the only reason why they were getting key kills is that Snizzle was landing key hooks. And look, I fully understand the meta of, we think that in theory this is a better composition, but whether it be in traditional sports or esports, there is absolutely the idea that sometimes someone has a hot hand and the logical thing to do doesn't matter when someone is playing out of their mind. And I mean, if Sizzle had a few bad runs, sure, maybe given the variance at that point, but
I mean, they did start, I guess, focusing him a little bit. Short 4 was actually just hunting down Snizzle. They identified the problem very quickly. I mean, it's hard to not identify the problem when he's the only red name in the kill feed. It's a pretty memorable name, too. So, interesting. Cloud9 does need the map wins they can get. They are up 3-0 in this set. They're looking to go 4-0 and, you know, maybe even exercise some demons on Route 66, because Hollywood Hammers getting it to that point might be enough for win it, because, as I mentioned, Cloud9 has not been good on this map lately. Something about it just confounds them, but only have to get it to second to take the map. Propane and propane accessories.
I identify with that man. I sometimes been told to resemble that man. So.
Yeah, you think you look like that, Gill? I've been told I'm not right, so I guess I'm Bobby in these situations.
Oh man,
could be worse.
It could be worse. But yeah, take a look at C9 right now, and I gotta say, Adam, keep following your dreams. I want to see the Orisa 2. probably not going to happen. But Gods on the McCree, I mean, there is a off chance that this could be legitimate, especially if they think that could be a Reinhardt in play, but nope, not gonna happen.
They need to add a hero in this game who has got a blind ability rather than a stun, and just call it Pocket Sand. Make it happen, Blizzard, please, for the love of God. Pocket Sand! All right, coming out, only have to get to second here. Fisher on the defensive Sombra, of all things. Interesting there. He's gonna be part of a triple support defense here. Nesh gonna be the only pure DPS, depending on what you consider Sombra. A jack of all trades.
And C9 right now, at the very least, there's not that much pressure on them. They don't have to bring this too far. But we have seen teams get held here on first. So on that same note, C9 can't waste too much time. And now they're going to dive right in. It's Winston D.Va leading the way. And we'll see just what they do in the back line as Fisher looks to pride a little bit into the back. Zenyatta is his prey, and he gets it with Nesh. The double dive of hammers working out. While meanwhile, C9 coming up dry.
He wasn't even getting pressured, but he only translocated back because it was about to run out. He didn't want to. He was doing so much damage out there. He didn't even really take any. Able to kill the supports. That's a nice Sombra play. And what happens when you have a nice Sombra play?
Well, the lights get turned out in the next push. That's what happens, because she will have the EMP up here in just a moment. And I gotta say, C9 doesn't have a lot of options, but look at this. We have Surefour on the hog. Snizzle Nose, the inspiration.
There are players in Overwatch who, as soon as they see someone run a hero well, they're like, oh yeah, that hero's pretty good. I used to play that hero. I'm pretty good at that. It's also a good answer to the Sombra, because Sombra always gets out with the translocate, but not if you hook her, she doesn't. The EMP comes in, and I gotta say, not in love with it necessarily. They didn't get a whole lot of kills afterwards. God's gonna be the only one. How do you use an EMP and not kill the Zenyatta?
I think they thought C9 was going to be a lot more aggressive on their dive in. They weren't. God's going to come back up, and now it's going to be C9 at a full 6 players. And, oh wait, we got swap ups here. We got switches on the way.
Yeah, all right. Pharmacy gonna come. Well,
God's
coming up.
Hog now.
God's gonna. Well, they were just trying to figure out who's going to be the better at getting those hooks. I like Surefour on the Pharah here too. It's gonna be a little unexpected. It's gonna put a lot of burden onto Rolf though, as that's gonna be where a lot of his healing should be going up in the sky. It's kind of a poor man's pharmacy, but there's less investment to it.
I just imagine God just like staring at Surefour and go, "Give me that hog. Give him to me. He was my first love." Well, we'll see if it works out here, as Surefour will be in the air. Gods will be on the ground, but again, he's not
more
able
ways
to take
than
it.
one, yeah.
More ways than one indeed. Nesh take him down early on, and C9 has just struggled to get an early entry kill period here. This has been messy. It's been brutal.
Yeah, I'm understanding the 30% on Escort now. This just does not look like they quite have an understanding what needs to happen here. I think the switch onto Roadhog makes a ton of sense, but as it stands, that marker for victory is a mile away. 90 seconds below that, actually, now ZP, to get to first. They haven't even gotten around Bend.
Here's the real problem here, is that Hammers, very arguably with a good EMP, should win the next fight, and that leaves C9 with a 1-fight buffer. They don't have that much up and ready to go. C9 is at a huge risk here of losing Route 66 because of a just powerless early offense. More ways than one. The EMP comes out, they get 2 kills off of it. Rolf, see ya.
Yeah, they're going all in on Surefour on the Pharah here. That's why they've moved over. They're actually running Rolf onto the Mercy, which is a little interesting. I thought that would be Adam's role, but fine. Rolf is a more than capable support in all capacities. And last fight here.
Fisher already at 54%. The health pack's doing his job. And Hammers actually here, Hex, they could give up some degree of room. Let time run out a bit, and then win with the ultimates they have stockpiled up. C9 is on the hot seat here, and this dive going in now must be successful. You need to see something here off the barrage and the Primal Rage. If you don't get it, Hammers very well could hold here. The Transcendence makes Surefour hold his fire.
He was gonna barrage that tunnel. I know it. I can sense it. He saw 3 people go in there, but the Transcend came out afterwards, so he's unable to do so. Another EMP goes off. Make sure everyone has no abilities at all. Speaking of no abilities, that's kind of how to describe Cloud9 and Escort. This was rough looking.
I sometimes question if C9 has played this map before.
It's rough. I mean, I said going. They're 1-4 on this map. Who's the one? That was tough.
Who's the one? You said that's so judgmental. It's just like, what idiots lost to C9
guys,
here?
all right, it's a long day. I don't mean to be sounding as angry. That's just confusing, though, because as methodical, as studied, as good and polished as Cloud9 looked, to not get around first bend on Route 66?
Okay, forget not getting around first bed. Just try getting some kills at some point.
Yeah.
Where anything they tried didn't work. Fair rockets, not getting anything. Hooks, not getting anything. Like, no matter what C9 was trying here, it just did not work.
I'm glad they tried stuff, at the very least. Consolation prize in my mind.
I mean, I'm glad they did it.
Yeah, let me message them. Hold on. Guys, it's fine.
Guys, you did a great
Gillfrost
job.
is really glad you tried stuff.
I mean, I'm
you.
glad their Genji didn't activate Dragon Blade and spawn and leap off to his death. I mean, it could be worse.
I
right?
can't
No one
imagine
would
why
do
no
that.
one would do that.
No one would
I don't
do
think
that.
anyone has ever done that.
Yeah,
I mean, they'd have to
silly.
build a Dragon Blade first.
Yes, but nonetheless, I mean, Gods, first of all, showed us that he can play a lot of heroes.
everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I trust that he can play the Hog. Wasn't able to convert that to too much here. But what I wanted to see a little bit of Protect the President. Where was Bastion?
Yeah, that's short for his, he's the one who invented El Presidente. So a little bit interesting to see. So going forward, C9 looks polished. Obviously, they need to practice on Escort. They need to practice on Escort.
No, they don't need to practice. When it comes to Route 66, they need intervention.
Yeah.
Well, and actually, very seriously speaking, we talk about like map picks and the importance of who's picking which map. And, you know, in most history, the team is picking what they're strong at. They're not necessarily looking what their opponent's weak at.
Yeah.
This is a good, it's a good indicator that maybe people should start thinking about picking this against Cloud9.
I would